Hi, this is Professor Jayan Modi, welcoming the entire class of SE Electronics and Computer Science for the semester 3 in the subject Electronic Devices abbreviated ED with the subject code ECC 302 as we continue with module number 1 titled PN junction diode and applications covering unit number 1.2 today. Previously, when we had seen the video lecture session of unit number 1.1, we had basically covered the PN junction diode structure, construction, its operation in forward bias, reverse bias, characteristics, and the effect of temperature on the PN junction diode operation. So, if we just take a look at the syllabus, the previous video lecture session, we have already covered unit number 1.1. Today we'll be focusing on unit number 1.2 in which we are actually dealing with the practical and real life applications of the PN junction diode as clippers and clampers. However, in this particular video session, we will be focusing only on the first part, clipper circuits. Now, before we go further, it is my sincere request to all of you that you need to have a prerequisite knowledge about semiconductor physics, which you have already studied way back in semester 1 for the subject Engineering Physics 1. Apart from this, it is also my personal request to let you know that we have already covered module number 1 through a video lecture titled the PN junction diode and applications. Here, the YouTube link is given and also the QR code is there. So for those of you who are having the QR code application on your smartphone, it is my sincere request to scan this particular QR code and just refer to this video lecture. This will give you a very good insight about unit number 1.1, which we have taken already in the previous case. Now, without wasting further time, let us start with what exactly are diode clippers. Well, if you see the name clippers comes from the word clip. Clip does not mean the clip with which we use to hang clothes, of course. Clip is a function which we use to cut or prune or edit or delete. So diode clippers are basically circuits which are used to slice or remove or prune or eliminate or delete a small or a large portion of any AC input signal waveform. Clippers are essentially diode-based circuits that primarily contain components such as here resistor given by R and a diode given by D. They may also contain a reference DC battery voltage as optional. Clipper circuits are mainly classified into two main types: negative clippers, positive clippers. Negative clippers actually clip or cut or remove the negative portion of the AC input signal, whereas positive clippers remove, cut, prune, delete the positive portion of the AC input signal. We also have a second category of series and shunt clippers. This is completely based upon the connection of the PN junction diode in that particular circuit itself. And lastly, the third type of clipper circuits are biased and unbiased clippers. This depends purely on whether we are using a reference DC battery voltage source in the circuit or not. If the reference DC battery voltage source is there, it is called as a bias clipper. But if there is no DC battery reference voltage use, then we call it as a unbiased clipper. Now, before we actually see the diode clipper circuits, their structure, their construction, and basically how they work, I thought of giving you a small animation based introduction of what diode clippers actually are and what they do. Looking at the first slide as shown here, you see an AC input signal in a form of a triangular waveform. The AC input signal has been labeled by the terminology Vin. Since the signal is continuously varying with time, it is a AC input signal. You can have a square wave, a sinusoidal wave, a ramp wave, a sawtooth wave, or any AC input signal waveform. For me, since I'm supposed to do the animations, it was very easy for me to sketch a triangular waveform as compared to a square wave or as compared to a sine wave too. The first major category of clipper circuits are unbiased positive diode clippers. Now, if you see this unbiased positive diode clipper, this is what we are currently studying. Unbiased means these clipper circuits do not have a DC reference battery voltage source. And when we see the word positive, it means that from this signal, the positive part of the signal will be completely clipped off. So if this particular signal is passed through an unbiased positive diode clipper, the output should be something like this. So what we see is the positive half cycle has been completely removed off, leaving only the negative half cycle coming at the output terminal. This is the basic principle of operation of an unbiased positive diode clipper circuit. Conversely, we also have an unbiased negative diode clipper circuit which functions exactly opposite to that of the unbiased positive diode clipper. We have the same triangular AC input signal, and once we apply this triangular AC input signal to this particular diode clipper circuit, keep in mind the name is now negative diode clipper. So it's very easy to guess the positive half cycle of the AC input signal simply appears at the output, but what you see is the negative half cycle has been completely eliminated. We have the biased positive diode clipper. In certain applications, it is important that we do not remove the entire half cycle, but we only remove a small portion or a small part of it. To dictate this, we need a DC reference voltage source inside the clipper circuit. That is why bias clippers come into the picture. These clipper circuits actually help us, depending upon the DC reference voltage level, to actually control how much level of the AC input signal cycle we want to clip or we want to keep. So with the same triangular AC input signal connected to the input side, a biased positive diode clipper will have an output looking approximately like this. So here, what you are able to see is it is a positive diode clipper. So a part of the positive half cycle has been clipped. Unlike the unbiased positive diode clipper where the entire half cycle was gone, here you have a control about how much signals level you want to obtain at the output side. Of course, since it's a positive diode clipper, the entire negative half cycle simply appears at the output as it is. For the biased negative diode clipper, it's again very easy to guess. The positive half cycle appears exactly as it is, but the negative half cycle is clipped up to a certain level, which depends upon the magnitude of the DC reference voltage plus or minus Vref. And when we say plus or minus Vref, the applied DC reference voltage inside the clipper circuit can be negative or it can be positive. Now, all the four clipper circuits which you saw had only had only one of the cycles being clipped. But what about applications in which there may be a need to clip both the cycles of the AC input signal? Of course, you may have the need to clip a certain portion of the positive half cycle. You may also have the need to clip a certain portion of the negative half cycle as well. This is where we have something called as a combinational diode clippers. Now these clipper circuits have the flexibility of clipping both the positive and the negative half cycle to a level which is decided completely by the circuit designer. Using a DC reference voltage source, you are able to set or you are able to preset the level of the AC output signal for the positive half cycle and for the negative half cycle to appear at the output side. With this particular clipper operation in mind, let us see the different types of diode clipper circuits in actual practice. Before that, for this particular session, I am assuming a triangular input signal shaped like this. So for me, the signal is completely periodic. It has one entire time period and the same pattern repeats again multiple times infinitely. The triangular signal has a peak voltage amplitude of plus Vm and it has a negative peak amplitude of minus Vm. So needless to say, the peak to peak signal amplitude for this particular periodic triangular waveform is given by twice Vm. So this is the standard input signal which is assumed for all the diode clipper circuits for this particular video lecture session. Carrying on. The first is the unbiased series positive clipper. To understand the circuit, let us look at the title, unbiased. So when you see the word unbiased, the circuit diagram clearly shows that there is no DC reference bias voltage connected anywhere in the circuit. And as the earlier slides said, the clipper circuit is a very simple two-port network containing a single resistor R and a single diode D. Now, the title is Unbiased Series Positive Clipper. So, needless to say, this particular circuit will clip off the positive half cycle of the incoming AC input signal Vin, while it allows the negative half cycle of the AC input signal to appear at the output. How does this work? It works with your same input AC triangular waveform which is applied at the input. During the positive half cycle, the topmost terminal is positive, the bottommost terminal is negative. If you look at the PN junction diode, you have a positive voltage with respect to ground, which is connected to the diode's cathode. Now, under these operating conditions, the diode is said to be reverse biased. Under reverse bias condition, the diode will not carry any current. It will simply act like an open circuit. So for the entire positive half cycle, since you have a positive voltage applied towards the cathode, the diode simply does not work. It behaves like an open circuit. So open circuit means that there is no way the positive half cycle of the AC input signal is able to reach the output. So for the entire positive half cycle, the output voltage V out is essentially zero. So this simply implies that you are actually clipping off or pruning off or deleting or eliminating the positive half cycle of the AC input signal. Now, when the negative half cycle appears, the topmost terminal now becomes negative, the bottommost terminal now becomes positive. The negative terminal is now connected to the cathode, which makes the diode forward biased. And once the diode becomes forward biased, it will start conducting. And once the diode starts conducting, it behaves like a short circuit. So this will ensure that whatever is the signal present during the negative half cycle at the input side, the same signal directly appears across the output voltage terminals as shown. So for the unbiased series positive clipper, we have the entire negative half cycle appearing at the output terminals itself. You do not have any positive half cycle, but yes, you have the complete negative half cycle appearing at the output. The second figure shows something called as a voltage transfer curve, VTC, or a voltage transfer characteristics. Such graphs have the input signal plotted on the x-axis and the output signal plotted on the y-axis. These graphs are particularly useful to understand the characteristics or the behavior of this particular clipper circuit. So if we just go back to the previous slide, what we saw was during the positive half cycle or during the entire positive half cycle, the input signal was going from 0 to plus Vm, and then from plus Vm back to 0, the output was 0. There was no output obtained at all. However, for the negative half cycle, the same negative half cycle was appearing in an exactly same way across the output terminals V out. So here, if you look at the AC input signal V in, you get a graph like this. Because even though the input signal increases from 0, goes to its peak value Vm, and again goes back to 0, you do not have any output signal obtained. This is the entire reason why in the first quadrant there is no signal obtained at the output. However, when the negative half cycle appears, the diode is now working in the forward bias mode of operation, due to which it is acting like a short circuit, allowing the entire negative half cycle to appear exactly across the output terminals in the same way. So the voltage transfer characteristics will be a typical horizontal flat line in the first quadrant, but they will look somewhat like this in the third quadrant. Reason being that when the input signal is negative, the output obtained was also negative. So even though the input signal Vin goes to its maximum negative peak of the value minus Vm, during that same particular instant, the output signal will also go to its negative peak value of minus Vm. Now this point is minus Vm, this point is minus Vm. It's very easy to guess the slope of this curve or the slope of this particular straight line. Yes, the slope of this straight line is 1 unity, because whatever are the variations in the input signal, the exact same variations are transmitted or transferred to the output signal itself. Hence the name is voltage transfer characteristics, because you actually know the behavior of the circuit, that is how the output signal is obtained for a input signal applied. This was for the first main part, unbiased series positive clipper. The second one is the unbiased series negative clipper. Comparing the diagram with the earlier case of the unbiased series positive clipper, the only difference you observe is that the diode connections are simply reversed. Here we have the anode connected towards the left side, the cathode connected towards the right side. And since it is an unbiased series negative clipper, you do not have any DC battery reference voltage source connected anywhere. And the name series initially implies that the input signal is connected in series with the diode, because whatever is the current sourced from the AC input signal, the same current is actually flowing through the PN junction diode. Let us see the operation for the positive half cycle. During the positive half cycle, the topmost part becomes positive, the bottommost part becomes negative. Here you have the positive part connected to the anode, which makes the entire PN junction diode forward biased. Due to this, the diode conducts, it turns on, and it effectively acts like a short circuit, transferring the positive half cycle from the input exactly towards the output. So from the output side, what you get is the entire positive half cycle is obtained in the same way, whereas when the AC input signal now becomes negative, the topmost part becomes minus, the bottommost part becomes plus. You have a negative voltage connected to the anode terminal of the PN junction diode, which will make it reverse biased. It will not allow any current to flow through it. It will simply behave like an open circuit. Once the diode behaves like an open circuit, there is no way the AC input signal can be transferred from the input side to the output side. That is why for the negative half cycle, you do not have any voltage obtained across the output terminals itself. What you see is the complete negative half cycle has been clipped off. The only way to understand unbiased circuits are either they will clip off completely the positive half cycle, or they will completely clip off the negative half cycle. Looking at the voltage transfer characteristics for the unbiased series negative clipper, during the first positive half cycle of operation, all of us saw that the output signal was obtained across the terminals Vout with the peak voltage value Vm. Similarly, when we have the positive half cycle Vin, you have a positive half cycle obtained across the output terminals itself. So even though the input signal is changing from 0 to the value plus Vm, in an exactly same way, you have the AC output signal also changing between the value 0 to the value plus Vm. And once again, it's very easy to guess. The slope of this straight line is exactly 1 unity. So whatever are the changes occurring in the AC input signal, those same changes will be translated towards the output terminals as well. However, for the negative half cycle, since the diode D is now reverse biased, you do not have any output signal obtained at the output terminals. Meaning, here, since we have the AC input signal Vin going from 0 to its negative peak value minus Vm, you do not have any output signal obtained across V out. So the unbiased series negative clipper works only in the first quadrant, whereas the earlier the unbiased series positive clipper was working in the third quadrant. The third category is biased series positive clipper. Now this circuit is similar to the first one, unbiased series positive clipper, with the only exception that you now see that the diode has a companion in the form of a DC reference voltage connected as given as the value Vref. Now, as I said earlier, bias clipper circuits are very useful during which you need to clip a certain portion of the AC input signal half cycle. When you have a DC reference voltage connected with the diode, please keep in mind, since the battery is exactly in series with the diode, it simply does not matter whether you connect the battery before the diode or whether you connect the battery after the diode. It makes no sense because ultimately in any case, both these circuit elements are exactly in series. Now, the operation will be similar to the unbiased series positive clipper, in which the entire positive half cycle is currently clipped off. However, what you observe is here the battery positive terminal is connected to the cathode. So the diode is already made reverse bias due to the battery voltage Vref. During the positive half cycle, although the topmost part is plus and the bottommost part is minus, the diode is already reverse biased thanks to the battery reference voltage Vref. And this is in addition to the positive half cycle of the AC input signal Vin. For the positive half cycle, the topmost part is plus, the bottommost part is minus. Since Vref and Vin are both connected exactly in series, we have the signs of plus, minus, plus and minus during the positive half cycle of the AC input signal, meaning these two voltage sources exert a huge reverse bias across the PN junction diode. That is why for the entire positive half cycle, the diode is effectively reverse biased. So yes, the positive half cycle has been completely clipped off. Now, during the negative half cycle, what we see is that the diode is still reverse biased thanks to the DC battery reference voltage Vref. However, during the negative half cycle, the topmost terminal becomes minus, the bottommost terminal now becomes plus. As the AC input signal voltage becomes more and more negative, there will be a certain point after which this AC input signal voltage will become more negative as compared to the reference voltage Vref. Once Vin becomes more negative compared to the reference voltage Vref, this particular reference voltage will have no effect on the diode. In fact, it will be the AC input signal due to the negative half cycle which will actually turn the PN junction diode on, because you have a negative half cycle or a negative sign here on top and you have a positive sign below. So for the negative half cycle, what you see is you have a limited output signal amplitude obtained with a value given as minus Vm plus Vref. So it is this Vref, the value which you can easily change to change the level of the negative half cycle which you are able to obtain at the output side. Although the positive half cycle has been completely eliminated, you are still able to control the peak amplitude of the output AC signal negative half cycle by basically controlling the magnitude of this particular DC bias voltage Vref. Conversely, if Vref was simply removed during the negative half cycle, when we had a minus over here and a plus below, the diode would immediately turn on and it would conduct for the entire negative half cycle of the AC input signal. However, since we have a DC battery reference Vref here, the AC input signal has to become more negative as compared to the value Vref. That is why the amplitude, the negative peak amplitude, is actually limited to minus Vm plus Vref. Understanding this from the voltage transfer characteristics point of view, the first quadrant again is very simple. Even though your AC input signal Vin stretches up to a positive peak of plus Vm, the diode is effectively reverse biased. That is why there is no AC output signal obtained across the output terminals. However, when the negative half cycle appears, we have a graph like this. Now, this is because the input signal has to wait till it reaches a negative value for minus Vref, and only when the AC input signal is able to overcome the DC reference voltage value, the diode can then turn on. Once the diode turns on, it simply starts conducting because it behaves like a short circuit. So this gives a limited output negative voltage given by minus Vm plus Vref. So with the AC input signal negatively shifting from 0 to minus Vm, the output AC signal is simply limited between 0 to minus Vm plus Vref. Biased conditions have the advantage that by changing the DC reference voltage Vref, you are actually able to control the amplitude of the output voltage which can be obtained. The fourth circuit is the biased series negative clipper. Now this is exactly similar to the unbiased series negative clipper, wherein the diode once again has a DC reference voltage for company. As you all know, both these circuit elements are in series, so it simply does not matter whether the DC battery reference voltage Vref is connected before the diode or it is connected after the diode. Let us check out the operation. During the positive half cycle, you have the topmost part as plus and you have the bottommost part as minus. However, the diode D is reverse biased due to the presence of the battery voltage Vref, due to which you have the negative battery terminal connected to the anode. This is a clear-cut case of a reverse bias connection. So the diode does not turn on for a very small amount of time till the AC input signal Vin becomes sufficiently high to overcome the reference voltage given by the term Vref. So till a time at which the amplitude of the AC input signal Vin for the positive half cycle is less than the value Vref, the diode is under the reverse bias condition. Once the AC input signal Vin increases further, there will be a certain point of time at which the AC input signal positive half cycle will easily cross over the reference voltage given by Vref. Once this happens, the topmost terminal is positive, the bottommost terminal is negative, due to which the diode D can now turn on. You may ask, okay, the negative part is connected here, so why doesn't the diode turn off? Reason is that now the AC input signal Vin is able to overcome the DC reference voltage Vref currently shown over here. Once this happens, what you have is you have a small AC output signal with a peak amplitude of plus Vm minus Vref, whereas since the circuit was a negative clipper, you have the entire negative half cycle completely removed off. However, you are able to still control the positive half cycle thanks to the DC reference voltage Vref. So the maximum positive AC amplitude will be limited to a value Vm minus Vref. And here you get that you only have a small portion of the positive half cycle being clipped. Looking at the voltage transfer characteristics, what we have is the first part is again very simple. When the AC input signal is completely negative, you have no output signal obtained because during that condition, the diode is completely reverse biased. So the diode does not conduct at all for a negative half cycle of the AC input signal Vin. However, when you have a positive half cycle of the AC input signal appearing, this particular half cycle has to wait for a small time until and unless it can overcome the DC reference voltage Vref, thereby allowing the diode to conduct again. So here what we see is with the AC input signal changing its positive half cycle between 0 to plus Vm, you have the AC output signal changing from 0 to a limited value of plus Vm minus Vref. It is very easy to guess that with the DC reference voltage removed, the voltage transfer characteristics directly goes back to the unbiased series negative clipper in which this particular graph will pass through the origin. The second main family of clippers is what we call as a shunt clipper. Now here what we see is the positions of resistor R and the diode both are completely interchanged. Now, since the diode is in parallel with the AC input signal and with the obtained output signal terminals, the name is over here shunt. And with the name unbiased, you again see that there is no DC reference voltage connected anywhere in the circuit. Now, for the operation of the unbiased shunt positive clipper, assuming that for the first positive half cycle in which the AC input signal goes from 0 to plus Vm and then from plus Vm back to 0, we here find that the topmost terminal now becomes plus, the bottommost terminal now becomes minus. So the positive terminal is actually powering the anode, the negative terminal is currently being applied to the cathode. So this particular diode D is now forward biased, it turns on, it conducts current through it. It acts like a short circuit. So during the positive half cycle, when the diode is acting like a typical short circuit, the output voltage obtained is essentially zero, because when you say that it's a typical short circuit, there is no voltage obtained across the output. So here what we see is that for the entire positive half cycle, when the AC input signal is changing from 0 to plus Vm and then from plus Vm back to 0, we do not get any AC output signal obtained. However, for the negative AC input signal half cycle, the topmost part now becomes minus, the bottommost part now becomes plus. Minus is connected to anode, plus is connected to cathode. This is a clear-cut case in which the PN junction diode is now reverse biased, due to which it cannot conduct any electric current. This will behave like an open circuit. When the diode D behaves like a typical open circuit, whatever is the voltage present at the input signal terminals can directly be obtained towards the output signal terminals easily. That is why the entire AC input signal from the input terminals is directly obtained at the output terminals without any hitch. This is because the diode is behaving like a open circuit. Looking at the voltage transfer curve or the voltage transfer characteristics, the first part is again extremely easy to guess. During the positive half cycle, the diode is on. It is acting like a short circuit. There is no voltage obtained across it. So for the positive half cycle, when the AC input signal Vin changes from 0 to plus Vm, you do not have any output signal obtained. However, when you have the negative half cycle of the AC input signal coming in, you have the diode behaving like a open circuit. This allows the entire AC input half cycle to appear at the output exactly as it is. So with the AC input signal changing from 0 to the value minus Vm, you also have the AC output signal changing from the value 0 to the value minus Vm. Needless to say, the slope of this curve is once again unity or 1, because the same AC input signal cycle is also obtained across the output terminals. For the unbiased shunt negative clipper, the diode terminals are typically reversed. So the cathode is pointing towards the top and the anode is currently pointing below. And the name unbiased once again means that there is no DC reference battery connected anywhere here. For the positive half cycle of the AC input signal, the topmost part is plus, the bottommost part is minus. You have the positive part connected to the cathode, you have the negative part connected to the anode, due to which the diode is now reverse biased. It does not conduct any current at all. It is behaving like a typical open circuit. And when the diode is behaving like a typical open circuit, whatever is the signal present at the input side, the same signal can be easily obtained across the output terminals Vout as shown. So for the entire positive half cycle of the AC input signal, in which the signal goes from 0 to plus Vm and then from plus Vm back to 0, you have the same signal appearing at the output terminals also from 0 to plus Vm and then from plus Vm back to 0. When the AC input signal now enters the negative half cycle phase, the topmost part becomes minus, the bottommost part now becomes plus. The negative part is applied to the cathode, the positive part is applied to the anode. The diode is now forward biased. It will turn on, behaving like a typical short circuit. And when the diode is actually behaving like a short circuit, the output voltage across it will of course be equal to 0 volts. You cannot have any potential difference or any output voltage across a short circuit condition. That is why this clearly shows that even with the negative half cycle of the AC input signal changing from 0 to minus Vm and then from minus Vm back to 0, you do not have any output signal obtained across the output terminals at all. Looking at the voltage transfer curve or the voltage transfer characteristics, it is once again very easy to see that for the positive half cycle of the AC input signal, you get a same positive half cycle across the output terminals, in which the slope of this line is essentially unity or 1. However, for the negative half cycle, since the diode is now acting like a typical short circuit, the voltage across it will be essentially 0. So even though the input signal is changing from 0 to minus Vm, you do not have any change in the output signal obtained. This was the case for unbiased shunt negative clipper. Following up with a biased shunt positive clipper, here you have a DC reference voltage plus Vref connected exactly in series with the diode. Once again, it does not make any difference whether the DC reference voltage is connected either below the diode or currently above it. Both these circuit elements are perfectly in series. Now, what you observe from this is the DC reference voltage always keeps the diode reverse biased, because with no AC input signal applied, what you are able to observe is you have the positive half cycle, sorry, you have the positive terminal of the DC reference source continuously connected to the cathode. So the diode is essentially in a reverse bias condition. The only way to make this diode work is that the AC input signal should be of a sufficient amplitude so as to overcome the reverse bias voltage applied due to the battery voltage Vref. So here, during the positive half cycle, what we see is we have the topmost part as plus and we have the bottommost part as minus. So during the entire positive half cycle of the AC input signal, for the case where the amplitude is less compared to the DC reference voltage source Vref, the diode is effectively acting like an open circuit. It is reverse biased. It is not able to conduct any current through it. Since the diode is effectively working as an open circuit, Vref is nowhere connected to Vout. Keep in mind there's an open connection here. However, during that time when the diode is off, it is behaving like a typical open circuit. Whatever signal is present at the AC input terminal is directly be able to obtain across the output terminal. So here, for a very small time interval, you are able to see that the AC input signal is being able to obtain across the output terminals as well. Once the input signal crosses the DC reference voltage plus Vref, the diode becomes forward biased. It will now act like a short circuit. Once the diode is acting like a typical short circuit, you have the DC reference voltage Vref directly appearing across the output signal, irrespective of how much the AC input signal varies. So once the diode completely turns on, you have the entire battery appearing across the output terminals, due to which you have the entire part of Vref appearing across the output terminals as it is. You here see that you have a small portion of the positive half cycle being clipped. By changing the DC battery reference level voltage, you are easily able to change how much of the positive half cycle you want to be clipped. Similarly, for the input AC negative half cycle, the diode will always be reverse biased, because the topmost terminal now becomes minus, the bottommost part now becomes plus. Minus is applied towards the anode, plus is applied towards the cathode part. Now, since the battery is already making the PN junction diode reverse biased, the AC input signal is also making the PN junction diode reverse biased. Due to this, it is acting as an open circuit, so Vref cannot reach the output. However, during that time, whatever AC input signal is applied at the input side, due to the diode behaving like an open circuit, the same AC input signal can be easily obtained at the output terminals. So here, what you see is that although the input AC signal negative half cycle changes from 0 to minus Vm and then from minus Vm back to 0, due to the diode behaving like a typical open circuit, you do not have any battery voltage appearing across the output. The same negative half cycle appears across the output exactly as it is. This can be easily verified from the voltage transfer curve or from the voltage transfer characteristic. During the negative half cycle, since the diode is now reverse biased, you have the AC input signal negative half cycle appearing across the output terminals. The slope is again unity. However, for the positive half cycle, what you see is that the AC input signal will be available across the output signal only till its value is somewhere near to the value Vref. Once the AC input signal crosses Vref, the PN junction diode will turn on. This will enable the entire DC battery voltage Vref to appear across the output. So no matter how much Vin changes between Vref to the value plus Vm, the output signal level will continue to be remain constant at plus Vref only. Changing the value of plus Vref, we are easily able to control how much clipping we should be able to obtain for the positive half cycle across the output terminals. An exactly similar circuit is that for a biased shunt negative clipper. Just as we saw in the previous case, the circuit operation is exactly similar to that. You have a PN junction diode that is permanently reverse biased thanks to the negative reference voltage connected. The cathode is always connected to the negative terminal of the DC battery reference voltage. For the positive half cycle, you have the upper terminal positive, the lower terminal negative. The positive terminal is connected to cathode, negative part is connected over here. The diode is essentially reverse biased. When the diode is essentially reverse biased, it is behaving like an open circuit, and once it behaves like an open circuit, you have the entire positive half cycle from the input signals directly reaching the output terminal Vout. So here you have the entire AC input signal positive half cycle directly appearing across the output terminals itself. So you have the AC input signal changing from 0 to plus Vm and from plus Vm back to 0. You have the output signal also being obtained from 0 to plus Vm and from plus Vm back to 0. For the input AC signal negative half cycle, the topmost part is minus, the bottommost part is plus. Minus is connected to cathode yes, there is a chance for the PN junction diode to become forward bias, beg your pardon, but this diode can only turn on when the input signal negative half cycle becomes more negative than the DC reference voltage connected here as minus Vref. Once this barrier is now overcome, the diode turns on, and once the diode turns on, it behaves like a short circuit. So this negative voltage directly appears across the output terminals over here given by the Vout. So what we are able to see is that when the AC input signal negative cycle is below the peak reference level of Vref, the diode, since it is open circuit, reverse bias, the same signal temporarily can come across the output. However, once the AC input signal breaches minus Vref, it simply turns the PN junction diode on. Once the PN junction diode turns on, it behaves like a short circuit. You have the entire negative battery voltage appearing straight across the output terminals during the negative half cycle of the AC input signal. This can be collaborated from the fact that the positive half cycle of the input signal gives the same positive half cycle at the output. However, the AC input signal negative half cycle has to breach the threshold level of minus Vref, until which it can contribute to an AC output signal present over here. Once the AC input signal cycle becomes more negative compared to the value minus Vref, the diode D turns on, behaves like a short circuit, and the entire negative battery voltage appears across the output terminals. So this is the biased shunt negative clipper. The last circuit is combinational clippers. So if you look at these two, the name is simple. It is combinational clippers because you have a combination of biased negative and positive clippers both working in parallel. Here you have diode D1, you have a voltage level V1, you have diode D2, you have a battery voltage V2. V1 and V2 can be same, V1 and V2 can be totally different. But yes, both of them need to be independent DC reference voltages. You have V1 connected to D1 and V2 connected to D2. Both of them are keeping D1 and D2 perennially in the reverse bias condition. For the positive half cycle, if the AC input signal is sufficiently high to overcome the DC battery voltage V1, diode D1 turns on, and you have the output being clipped to a positive value for V1. During the same positive half cycle, keep in mind diode D2 is off because the positive terminal now being plus. Plus is given to D1 anode, but plus is given to D2 cathode. So where D1 turns on, D2 will be off. Similarly, during the negative half cycle, you have the topmost terminal as minus, the bottom part as plus. So since minus is connected to the anode of D1, D1 turns completely off. But only when the AC input signal during the negative half cycle becomes more negative than the DC reference voltage V2, diode D2 will turn on. It will act like a typical short circuit, and you have the entire battery voltage V2 being obtained across the output terminals Vout. So by changing the values of V1 and V2, you are actually able to clip a small portion of both the positive half cycle and the negative half cycle itself. If V1 and V2 both are same, this circuit is called as a symmetrical combinational clipper in which equal portions of the input positive AC half cycles and the input negative AC half cycles are clipped. But for cases in which you want different portions of the positive and negative half cycle clipped, you are easily able to do so by changing the DC battery reference voltage values of V1 and V2. Finally, the voltage transfer characteristics or VTC for combinational clippers is exactly a amalgamation of the voltage transfer characteristics curve for biased negative shunt clippers and biased positive shunt clippers as shown. So you have the AC output signal obtained for a very small region for the AC input signal between the DC reference voltage values of plus V1 and minus V2. Once the input signal crosses either of the threshold reference values, the output signal is clipped to that particular DC reference value itself. So for the positive half cycle, you have the signal clipped to a value of plus V1, but for the negative half cycle, you have the signal clipped to a value of minus V2. This is what we have for combinational clippers. For real life practical applications, diode clippers are used in clipping or slicing portions of the input signal waveform. They are used in small signal rectification purpose. They are used in analog signal conditioning techniques. They are used in wave shaping techniques. They are used in amplitude limiters for communication receivers. They are used in as freewheeling diodes for inductive loads, wherein the energy stored in the inductive load needs to be dissipated through the freewheeling action of the PN junction diode. They are used in DC power supplies to prevent spikes. They are used in pulse trigger circuits and systems, and they are also used in waveform generators. Finally, if you look at all the output signal waveforms as compared to the input signal waveforms, you will observe one common thing. The output signal is nowhere looking similar to the AC input signal. That is the main reason why all diode clippers are called as wave shaping circuits, or they are used in wave shaping techniques, because they tend to change the wave of the output signal, which will be quite different from the original AC input signal. With this, we come to an end of the first half of unit number 1.2, in which we are supposed to cover the applications of PN junction diodes as clippers and clampers. So this particular video lecture session completes the first part, clippers. Once again, the list of textbooks is the same. You have Donald Neiman, Sedra, Smith, Chandorkar, Sanjeev Gupta, Santosh Gupta. Reference books are again the same: Robert Bolstead, Nashelski, David Bell, Mohammad Rashid, Salevan, and Suresh Kumar. And you have the same source of online website references given as shown. With this, we come to an end of unit number 1.2, covering the first application of the PN junction diode used as a typical clipper circuit. Thank you very much.